of people wanting it.
Yes, a majority. And I'm saying
The majority of people disagree with you.
disagree
Every
with
hood nigger would tell you that no white boy is standing in their way of success.
whoever. First off, when did I say in regards to success? I've never
Because that's
said
being
that.
discriminated upon. Otherwise, what are you complaining that your
No, because
feelings got hurt?
I've actually had to fight through different things based on it. I've had stories based on situations where literally they took our race, or literally because of my name, or I have to switch out my name in certain types of situations.
Right, but that's because they don't know the name. If your parents, what did Irish parents do? What did German parents do?
They changed.
They changed their fucking name.
Yes, again,
because you're American.
That is discrimination in regards to changing
Negative. That's discrimination because you're not an American.
Your name is Michael Wood.
Right.
You don't have to face it. You're literally a white male individual with the name Michael Wood. So of course, through the lens of you, you're not going to see these other things that people continually say are happening.
Dude, that is so racist. I'm just going to cut it at that, bro. We'll talk about it later. I think that's wild.
How is that racist?
I'm not even going to go ahead and like deal with that. Seriously.
How do you think that that's racist?
Because you just claimed that you're not being racist as you're being racist with me.
No, what I said was that you
just said because of my name and because of my whiteness.
Because of your lens. I said of your lens. I'm saying in regards to the majority.
You think I've never read a fucking study?
Huh?
You think I've never read the names and job study?
But
the name is because to America, you have a stupid name.
Yes.
It's not because you're black. It's because they don't trust parents that give children stupid names in America.
But what is this? But who is deciding what is a stupid name?
That's America. Are you American?
Yes, America, the voice.
Are you American?
I'm first generation born from Nigeria.
Are you American?
For me personally, I don't consider myself, but I'm Nigerian.
Well, then don't bitch that America doesn't consider you American when you don't want to be one of us.
Again, I'm not saying that, but I'm talking about.
You just did.
Again, first off, I'm not saying in regards. I'm
telling you, it's not because you're black. It's because you have a name that they think won't fit in with their culture.
Yes.
Right. And if I apply for fucking Breakfast Club as Michael Wood, the white boy, do you think that I'm being judged by my name and my skin?
First off, I'm not telling you that you're not going to be in regards to, I said.
Then it's just human. It's not because of my race. It's because I don't fit in with the culture.
And there's a majority.
No company should be forced to hire you if you won't fit in with their culture.
Yes, and the culture of America, of what it was established on. The fact is, for some odd reason, still in this culture, that we still have to say in regards to the Christian culture, in that every presidential candidate.
Who does? I'm atheist as fuck.
I believe exactly you, but I'm saying in regards to running for president, there's like, yes, we still have to ask the question of like, well, do you believe in God? Because there is the culture of the dominant who has the majority of the voice.
But do you think all those people believed in God? Do you think all the presidents were
no,
theists?
But you have to fill into that culture. That's
so fucking what? If I go to fucking Mexico, I have to speak Spanish, dude.
Great, that's fine, but that's in Mexico.
And if you come to America, you need to be American. Duh.
What is American exactly? American.
It's not being named Emmy. You know this.
But again, being American, you're saying my point. That the majority of the voice of
America is Western culture. Yes,
exactly.
And if you go to Britain with a name you're like yours, they're going to feel the same way. If I go to Saudi Arabia, they're going to feel the same way. There's nothing wrong with them for feeling that way.
Agreeing with it that the culture of the majority of the voice who has that voice is the American.
No, America is the only place that has subcultures. So you can go to any subculture in America and you will be advantaged. You can go to are you at an advantage or am I at an advantage going through an all black neighborhood like Prince George's County applying for jobs? Who has the advantage? Me or you? The richest black county in the country, who has an advantage getting a job? Me or you? If we're running for office with your name, who has an advantage? Me or you?
What office? In that city?
No, if you're running for if you were running for political office in Minnesota, okay, would you be better off with your name or mine?
I don't think that. I don't know if I would.
Okay, so if you went to the Somalian district that what's her name is in, I can't remember her name. Are you more advantaged with your name or mine?
Ilhan Omar?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you more advantaged with your name and your physical appearance in her district or mine? Or am I? If we ran for her seat, who would get it? Me or you?
If I ran for her seat?
Yes. If me and you ran for her seat in her district, who would get the job?
Well, right now?
Yes.
Like,
because this is where we are, Emmy. You keep talking about 1920.
I know. I'm answering your question. What I'm
right
saying
now.
Is, I know. Well, first off, it's based on ideology. If you had,
no, we're going to say the exact same words. Who gets the job, me or you? If we're going for police chief, if we say the exact same words, who gets the job, me or you?
First off, are you asking based on my name? I guess that's the question.
Your name and your color of skin are the only difference I'm clearly explaining. And if we were running for her seat, who would get the job, me or you? No difference other than our name and skin color.
I don't know.
Oh my God. All right, that's it. I'm done. You're dishonest, Emmy. That's dishonest. And let's think about it. Let's come back to it at a different time.
Mike, I'm being honest with you. It's like I don't know how people are going to vote unless they're doing it based on identity politics.
Yeah, they do.
Unless they're doing it strictly on identity politics.
That's the point.
I'm also not for identity politics. But I think the reason that she actually came up was more because of her progressive ideology.
She just happened to live in a Somali neighborhood and district and happened to be Somalian. So she lives in a Somalian-dominated district. And she's Somalian, and you think that she got elected for her policy?
Living in a Somalian and was fighting for Somalian rights? Yes, I would believe that she would. If I was there, if Candace Owens ran in the same district, Candace Owens, she would not win. That's the thing. Ideology is very
No,
key.
You're changing ideology. What I just told you was no ideology. We say the exact same words. You have your name, I have my name, you have your physical appearance, I have my physical appearance. Who wins in a black district?
Oh, okay, in a black, and where she's...
Hers is Somalian district, they're black too.
Fine, yes, probably me.
Okay.
But again, you have to...
So then let's talk about how racist your community is to me then. Should we have that?
But I don't know that, because again, it's people are looking at people that have also been
Okay, you don't know that obvious truth, but yet you know how cops feel in their intent.
Well, when the cop says to me, are you on probation or parole, and is saying, are you in a gang? Yes, there is a certain intent that I have an issue with.
You have no idea what the fuck happened. He could have ran your license plate tag on his computer system. Somebody with a similar name comes up as a gang identification number. So he asks you a question. You literally don't know. You fabricate it.
Well, when that happens over and over and over and over and over again.
Yeah, it would happen over and over and over again if somebody else with a criminal database name was yours. Just like if
they do something that they do not find, that they find, what is it called? That seems out of place. So yes,
I'm telling you, I'm giving you a plausible... I'm giving you a plausible, realistic explanation as to why you would be doing it. You know it's because of your race. I'm giving you a very common issue. People with common names or with a name that's in another database get asked questions like that. And is it going to be more common if you're black? Yeah, again, why? There's more black people in gangs and more black people committing murders. You can't deny this. This is an obvious situation where people can have no racist intent, but all you see is racism. You see it.
It set it up in that way.
No, you saw it in that way.
Well, what happens if I'm an individual who is innocent and is driving down the road, and if cops are consistently saying, hey, blacks commit murders, great, I see a black person, my fear is up, I'm going to run this person's tag, and I'm going to pull him over. And I'm going to get pulled over.
I run everybody's tags, bro.
Huh?
So what?
But that's based on race. You said it. Blacks commit more race. That is based on race. So systematically...
No, it's based on them being lead poisoned again. But I'm telling you the truth.
But again, you keep going away from it. It's based on race. You said blacks commit more murders. So if you're going to use that, that's based on race. So if a cop is seeing me drive down the road who is black, and because in his mind he believes that blacks commit more violence, and at the same time, he is now more fearful of it.
You being... You're wrong. You're wrong. This, again, How do you know how this other person feels? The projection is outstanding. So you feel this way. You do not know how the other person feels. I'm telling you right now, from my opinion, from whatever I saw, the way you're dressed, the way your hair is cut, you look extremely Western civilization, and you would never be stopped because you were black. Now, if you threw on some hood clothes and you had a felony forest and you drove a shitty car, the odds go up. Yep.
All right. So then I guess we'll just end it there.
I mean, you can't act like dudes that are driving shitty cars and wearing those clothes aren't the ones committing the homicides.
But that doesn't mean that you could just stop them.
But you're being stopped for a legal reason. You're not making an argument that you're being stopped for illegal reasons.
Yes, there's no most of the time they're just like, I got pulled over for a Christmas tree decal on the 4th of July when I'm just driving down the road, where the cop just opens up the back seat of the car without.
Right. Well, if you didn't file a complaint and follow up on a cop saying he pulled you over,
oh, trust me, I've tried to make complaints against the cop.
I hear you, but
I mean, how much of an issue that is.
Again, cops can lie to you. I mean, cops can lie to you. They can say I stopped you because of whatever they want to say.
Great.
If they said you can't drive a vehicle legally, nobody can.
I know, I understand. I saw they could literally pull you over for anything.
So like the idea that you, but that's the thing is you are making the attribution. I just need you to see that you're projecting your preconceived narrative to this officer whom you have no information about at all. It's you, Emmy. You are being the racist when you make that projection.
So I'm making the racist when someone's pulling me over and says, "Are you on probation or parole? Are you in a gang?" and all these other things, but they wouldn't do that to a person that was a 5'2" white woman.
No, if there was an entry in the computer system with a 5'2" white woman, the thing is you're saying because it was black was your projection. You don't know that. You don't. You have zero evidence. It's just your opinion, dude.
And the opinions of,
but I can see the world the same way. With objective measurements like job loss, like overdosing in heroin, like highest suicide rates, like highest death rates, white males. I can see it the same way from a system that's going after it, but it's not about race, it's about class.
I believe
you are clearly not low class. So I don't know what the fuck you were doing when you got stopped, but you didn't get stopped because you were low class. Dude, the last thing you look is low class. You don't speak low class. You don't dress low class.
But they don't know that when they pull me over. They don't know.
But that's all we can see is the class. That's all cops see. All cops see is the class you're in. Will Smith does not get hassled. No rich person gets hassled driving their. There are all these pastors in the hood driving their fucking Bentleys and shit. They're not getting hassled. It's class.
Yes, it is.
You're attributing it to racism.
But there is an element of that as well.
No, there's an element of racism to why you're in the class. Procedural racism, systemic racism. You cannot attribute that to modern day people.
I am a modern, but the thing is, you're saying that it's not a modern day people.
No, you're telling me that something was put into the system hundreds of years ago, and that's the fault of modern day people. And you're saying it's the fault of the people who are the only people who shed their sons and daughters, sent them to die for your people. The only country in the entire world. These people are not your enemy. These people are not racist. They sent.
I'm not saying, when did I say all white people were racist? When did I say this?
No, this country's not racist, other than the people that are seeing it.
It had to fight against another force. It had to fight against an opposite force.
Yeah, so fucking life's not fair and it's not easy. I get that.
Again, you're saying that just because we had a civil war doesn't mean that there's racism. They had to fight against somebody. The other side was racist. That side just didn't disappear.
Not once have I ever said racism doesn't exist.
No, but I'm saying you're saying that you just said this country is not racist.
It's not as a whole. It's not. It doesn't have policies that are racist. What racist policy does it have?
When did I say that it was not a whole?
Because you said it's about the system. So name one lingering policy that's racist. One
that's
one racist law, please. I can name you affirmative action. Racist as fuck.
First off, do you know who benefits the most from affirmative action?
Asians. Psych.
No, it's not. It's white females.
They get punished the most.
It's white females.
I was telling you about Asian people being punished. So you're sacrificing white females don't get promoted the most. Get out of here.
Affirmative action. White females benefit the most.
That's nonsense.
That's the truth.
Okay.
If you don't want to believe it, that's on you.
I'll look it up for you.
Great. Let's look it up.
Not doing it right now. We have to come back to it. I'll do real research. But the thing, that's just, everybody can see this, Agnell. Everybody has discrimination against them. Everybody. It just depends where you are and what you're doing.
So I'm just gonna, should I send you the link? You can pick whatever you want to do.
Sure.
Whatever you want to do.
You gonna send me some HuffPost article or Vox or something?
I'm just telling you, you want, again, you can't be upset about data when I send you data and be like, well, I'm not going to believe that data.
Did you just literally say that a Vox article was bad?
I'm not. This isn't a Vox article. This is literally at the Google. As you go through all of them, you can pick whichever article you want to choose. Okay. Basically, this is just, I'm giving you the choice. I'm choosing whatever one you want to get.
Okay. I'm going to look through. Don't worry.
All right, I'm just letting you know, because you're saying it's bullshit, but it's like, I'm presenting it, and you could believe it or not, but that's what it is. You said Asians like,
right. I mean, I hear you, but I understand we're going to have a collection of opinions here, and I'll look through them for you.
Yeah. So then that's it.
But were they disproportional? Were they disproportional though?
You said it's because it was racist. You said because it was racist, and I was just like, no, because it's not. Because white women benefit the most.
It would still be racist. What do you mean?
But that's what I'm saying, is like, if you're saying that it's racist.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Look, all it is this, is.
You're not subscribing to only white people can be racist, are you?
No, I don't believe that. I think anybody could be racist. I think black people could be racist against white people. I don't believe that. I think anybody could be racist. All right? As you can see, anyone could be racist. So again, when I said affirmative action, all it is affirmative action to me is just being like, hey, we will at least consider this person or bring them into the interview. I don't believe in just hiring based on quotas or anything like that. That's not what I believe in. I believe in equal protections from the law. I just don't believe that we have equal protections of the law, and that's why we have to keep changing it in regards
to where do you not have equal protection under the law?
Let's see.
Come on, man. That should be on the tip of your tongue, right?
Well, look again. I believe that stop and frisk, and I know that they're saying that it's illegal, but I don't think that it's still illegal because these things are still happening.
Stop and frisk is illegal on its surface. Their policy was unconstitutional.
Exactly. But again, it's stopping somebody constitutionally. Yes.
But they said it was unconstitutional, and they said it was illegal.
It is, but they'll still do it. It's the same thing.
No, they don't. Stop and frisk and stop and frisk is a policy, or two different things.
It's a Terry stop. It's a Terry.
Yeah.
Right?
So a Terry stops are still done. Yes, because you didn't change that law.
Correct. And I'm saying exactly. That's what I'm saying. That those issues should be illegal, but they're still doing that.
Terry stop should not be illegal. Terry stop is just an armed person.
It's basically Terry stop is basically through, you could stop and question them at any moment. That person could walk away and say, "Am I being detained?" and be able to leave. If you're
no, they can't. If it's a stop, you can't leave.
Even if it's you could ask if you're being detained.
Detained and being stopped are two different things.
Yeah, I don't have to answer your question.
You never have to answer the questions.
Exactly. So that means if I'm not being detained and if I don't have to answer your questions, I should be able to leave. They can keep following me, but
no, that's not what a stop is. I mean, again, you're having a problem with the law and you're blaming police with the law.
Well, again, if
so a Terry stop, any police stop means you don't have a right to leave. You do not have the right to leave a police stop, period.
Correct. Unless you ask, hey, can I leave?
No, period.
What do you mean? But again, period. So if a cop stops me, right?
He could. No, legally, there's two different things. There's an interview and there's stops.
Correct.
Terry stop is a stop.
It's a stop if a crime is being committed or
negative. Negative.
No, but I'm asking, what is the difference? I'm asking you the difference in regards to at what point can
a Terry a stop is whenever there's reasonable suspicion of a crime.
Great. And is there a crime that's being committed?
Right.
Currently, is there a crime?
No, it doesn't have to be committed. I just said reasonable suspicion.
Okay, reasonable suspicion.
Reasonable suspicion that a crime is being committed.
Great, but again, has a crime been reported?
That's irrelevant.
No, but I'm asking. What I'm asking follow-up questions to you.
It's irrelevant.
But again,
Just because you
great,
ask it won't make it a relevant question.
great, fine. If you want to say that doesn't make it a relevant question, but again, at that stop,
Maybe not. It's irrelevant.
Do I need to speak to the officer? Do I need to speak to the officer?
Do you need to? You never need to.
Exactly. I never need to. Great. So if an officer stops me on reasonable suspicion, well, what is the suspicion?
Now, I don't know. The officer has to articulate that individual circumstance.
Exactly. And if he can't do that,
yeah,
then what?
Then he committed a civil rights violation.
Exactly. And I could go about my way. So that's the point that I was bringing up.
You're stopped.
I'm stopped. But then again, unless I'm being detained.
No, stopped is not free to leave. It just means it's not under arrest. It's a step between detained and under arrest.
Exactly. And again, I understand the two differences, but I'm doing the follow-up questions on it, meaning that if that's happening, that he doesn't have reasonable suspicion of holding me in place or that a crime that is currently being committed, then technically I can go about my way. Correct? Unless
and the cop committed a crime.
Correct. And that's what I'm saying. But
it's a crime.
Great.
I'm asking you what's illegal.
You asking me what's illegal?
Yeah. What law exists that's discrimination? You said stop and frisk. It's not.
Okay. Look, there's still certain things in regards to
what policy or law is discriminatory in this nation?
You could look at it. I'll ask you another thing in regards to this. Is technically discrimination was separate but equal. They used that in the exact same way. And I know you're going to be like you're bringing up in the past, but at that time, it was looked at as being, hey, it's equal protections of the law.
Dude, I'm sorry if they had a poor argument. Today, what law is racist?
I still look. It's when I'm looking at stuff in regards to.
But there's got to be a law, right? Because if you could say that people are violating the law and that's a problem, but we all agree on that.
I think there's a difference between law and policy.
Okay, what policy is racist?
Look, I think in regards to stopping based on drugs, and you're going to be like, well, no, or profile.
Nobody can be stopped based on drugs. I don't know what that means.
Well, that's stop it. Like again, I know we could go into stop and frisk, but it's just like you can have any.
But a frisk has to be an armed person. A stop only needs reasonable suspicion. The frisk is a different stage.
Is it when you're actually putting your hands on somebody? And
it's a different stage.
Exactly. That's when you're actually going into legal search and seizure.
I mean, dude, I've been searching. Trust me, I would make the argument if it was there. I stand for equal rights. I don't know of any law or policy that is overtly or even outright racist. I don't know of any. I mean, I know of ones in the past, and I can explain to you why, black men are more looked at with policing, but part of that element is the more violence, of course.
Yeah, but I think it's very tough because it's like when you're looking at separate but equal. And the reason why I bring up that argument is because it's like, well, what law makes it unequal? It's like, well, you have your
that you're separate. That separate is not equal. That's not true.
But that's the thing is, that's what they could say. It's like, look, this is not equal. And I think that's what you have to break it down to. Like, oh, these drinking felons are actually in less, worse state than
right. But again, what I'm telling you is a stopping frisk is about finding weapons. It's wildly disproportional, pretty much, to stop any white dude in any of these neighborhoods where homicides are occurring for a stop and frisk. It'd have to be disproportional to the amount of murders. And it's not. Do you know what I mean by the difference there? Because it's about the conduct of the person. It's not about what they look like.
But it's tough because even from what you've said before in regards to.
Those things are all true.
Yeah.
But so those are things about people. Just what people do. It doesn't mean we can't know the intent, though. Just again, like how I did racist actions as a cop. I did. I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
But I had no racist intent. I mean, I had the opposite. I was listening to black people.
Correct. But again, you're saying that's why I say it was different between laws and policy in regards to, yes, there's laws basically in the country that you could say that it's equal, but there's still policies that are in place through, private institutions, government institutions that are still pushing and supporting racism. Like you're saying, in your
Yeah, they're pushing racism in the black direction. It's the other way. Do you think Amazon would ever put up a message that said we also believe that all lives matter? Or can they only say that black lives matter?
They could do whatever they want. They could do whatever they want.
No, they can't. No, they can't. You know this. If anything, this entire country is racist against white people right now.
Could they put it up? Could they put it up? Yes. Could they put all lives matter? Yes. Will there be backlash?
How many racist against white people things do you think I could point out?
Hold on. Same thing that you would also get backlash from certain people if you put Black Lives Matter. It's the same thing.
Negative.
There would be backlash if you put Black Lives Matter.
The company can get away with
the NFL literally.
Right. But do you think that somebody that was waving a Confederate flag could walk up on the stage, push Bernie Sanders out of the way, and speak for 15 minutes? Dude, these are obvious. This culture is wildly racist against white people.
Why, it's not because it's black. I think it's more because of ideology. The reason that a Confederate person wouldn't come up there is because ideologically they don't align. So you can't do it based on the Confederate flag. Yeah, the same way that I can't just push a person off stage.
The ideology is that the black lives are more important. I fought against it. I fought against it, and I understand that. I wanted to believe that the movement was saying Black Lives Matter too, but it's not, and it isn't. It's saying Black Lives Matter only.
I don't think it's saying Black Lives Matter.
All right, man. You see them trying to put in like what policy that's not racist do you try to see them putting in?
What policy?
Yeah, so racist outcomes. Do you think making the defund police movement is going to cause more or less problems in these communities? Are homicides going to go up in Milwaukee? I mean, Milwaukee.
I still want police to answer to violent calls. I've never said that. I've never said that take away police completely.
No, I didn't say that you did. I'm talking about the culture right now. I'm telling you, there are tons of. Oregon just made a policy that's clearly racist against white people. Okay? And this happens all the time.
You're having a conversation with me of something that I don't agree with. I
know, but you're acting like the world has these policies against blacks, and it's not true.
You're making it seem like like we're all a monolith, like we all have the same ideas. I'm not saying that. I don't agree with what Oregon is doing. So I don't know why we're having a conversation on Oregon saying
because the actual policies that are going into place, if you're principled, those policies are going against white people. They're not going against black people. Black people, I understand there was a study 15 years ago that said the name's going to hurt.
For me, that actually hurts black people more that they don't have to wear masks. I don't understand how that.
I mean, I think so too, sure, but that's approaching logically, not their intent.
Yeah, I don't understand how that even makes sense. Honestly.
I know, but that's what they're doing.
Going there, I don't agree with that at all.
I get you. But that's the point is that if there's actual policies that we're talking about, the policies are actually racist in the benefit of being black.
Which one? I don't know how that's benefit.
If there's policies, no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
Oregon. You're doing one example of Oregon.
No, I'm talking about the culture. I'm talking about who's going to get elected to office. I understand there's a paper 15 years ago that said your name and skin color could harm you for a job, but there's no way that's true anymore. No way. Things change. And we have to talk about what's going on now. Right? Don't you agree with that? What's going on now? And what's going on now is if there's any racist policies, it's actually against white people.
I don't know if it's against.
Do you think a white person could write "White Lives Matter" in the street?
Yes.
You think a mayor would be able to write "White Lives Matter" on a public street like they did with Black Lives Matter all over the nation?
You mean, okay, so you're saying in regards to.
Do you think you could do that? Emmy.
No. Well, no, I don't.
Of course not.
Well,
but this is the racism of our society now. I know we don't want to face it. I know we don't. But being opposite racism does not bring balance.
No, that's not reverse. There's racism and racism. There's no such thing as reverse racism.
I didn't say that. I said opposite racism.
That's just saying racism.
Right. I'm telling you to say that you can say Black Lives Matter and not White Lives Matter. That's actually racist.
Well, I think there's a confusion there. Honestly.
How so?
Because if you explain it, it's like, hey, white lives matter in regards to But that's not the argument that white lives matter are even making.
No, I didn't ask you that. If the same argument was down, so
Yeah.
if some mayor said, "Hey, the data actually says that white females are the most disproportionately victims of police brutality," I'm
Yeah.
going to paint White Lives Matter on my road to point out and draw attention to the police brutality against white people.
Well, again,
You
if you're
think the
going
black community would accept that in mass? You
towards
think the
white
left would accept that?
towards white females, if that was happening, that responding, I'm like, yes.
That's
And
literally what's happening.
no, the issue is this: with all lives matter and white lives matter. What you're
I didn't
doing,
say that. I said white lives matter
Yeah,
because the
reason-
person said that. Would they be able to do that? Now, you could justify that all you want, but that's the fucking problem.
Well, no, here's the thing: it depends on the extent of that information.
I just told you. I just told you. I gave the scenario, Emmy.
Can I give you my answer?
It's a yes or
The
no
reason why
answer.
Black Lives Matter. Look, if you just wrote Black Lives Matter, like at the very beginning portion of it, you're just like, yeah, that doesn't sound right. But then we know the context of it. If you put the context behind White Lives Matter without trying to silence,
that's the context to you.
But that's what I'm trying to say is, if you put that up there, I don't think you'd have an issue. If you put
You
the
think
context
that
behind
no one would protest that if a white
people
man?
would protest anything. It doesn't matter. People would protest Black Lives Matter.
I'm asking you. You're talking about racism. I think it's a
Yes.
little clearly racist that no white person could publicly stand up for the fact of police brutality disproportionality against white people. That's
Yes,
the
they can,
fact.
and people are bringing that up.
Dude,
People
I understand you hear people
in
bringing that up.
in the protest about police
But I
accountability.
thought
There's
Black
video.
Lives Matter was about police brutality,
It is about it.
except for
There's-
white
there's
people, except for Asian people,
Look, and regardless,
except for females for half of the point.
Can I answer the question in regards to there's been multiple videos of people that are protesting, that are white, that are so many different backgrounds, that are being attacked by police brutality, that they're making their rounds consistently. It's not only Black lives. Only one person is saying, like, Black lives are the only thing that we're trying to fight. I'm telling you that that's not happening. That's not the situation. Yes, you have one portion that's talking about Black Lives Matter. There's not all the same of Black Lives Matter. There's so many different elements. There are people that are fighting for defund the police department that are of all different backgrounds. You're trying to say that it's almost like saying, well, Black Power or like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were the same. No, they had different approaches towards it. There's multiple movements that are happening at the same time that you're putting all into.
And
Black
none
Lives
of
Matter.
them are looking or making actual data-driven claims about
Look,
police
that's a different
brutality.
conversation. If you don't agree with that, first off, you're going to a different conversation. If you don't agree with the way that they're going about it, that's a different conversation. But if you're saying that it's only that it's Black Lives Matter, and
My
White Lives
point
Matter,
is that it's clearly racist.
I'm giving you an example of it, and you're just choosing not to listen.
I don't
I'm telling
understand
you
what you're
there's
saying.
multiple
I really
movements that are
don't.
happening. If you had a white
Not a
lives matter,
single white victim of police brutality or Asian victim is being held up at any of these protests on a sign.
there was a guy that just got shot in saying justice for the guy that was protesting, and he got shot by an officer through his car. There's multiple movements. Yes, I'll be honest. That's the loudest.
I
one
just
right
said, why are there only black names?
It's not only Black faces. It's not only, and I'm telling you that.
I
might not
know
want to
that it's not
represent
only
what the
black
media is
faces
presenting.
being under
I've been out
brutality.
there on
Why can I
protest.
not look at a protest and see any black people fighting for white people?
We are. That's what is happening right now. There's multiple movements.
Where? What sign has ever been up?
Defund the police department. That's what
That's
this
for
is
white
about.
people?
Yes, it is. And you don't want to see that, but it is. The issue when the 75-year-old man who got pushed by those officers and split his head open, is he a black face? No. Exactly. We're fighting for that as well. The people
You call that
we see,
police
the woman-
brutality?
No, the woman who
You
got,
call that
who
police
got
brutality?
pushed on the ground and smashed her head in. Was she? But no, she was white. Police, again, you're putting all of this in regards to one element,
again,
and I'm telling you,
Emmy,
it's not.
I'm not denying. It's been my case that white people are subject to police brutality.
Yes,
My
we're
question
fighting that
is why does no one in your circles or in your movements
They are.
ever hold up a sign that says Zachary Hammond or Justine Damon or any of the more white if it was about police brutality, you would see this, right?
Who Justine Hammond was? Which one? Was Justine Hammond the one that's killed by that cop who happened to be Muslim?
Yeah.
Yeah, but there was accountability. That guy was
There's
charged.
accountability for George Floyd. Thanks.
There wasn't accountability
So
for George
far.
Floyd. There was protests.
So
Yes,
far.
because the protests happened.
Right, but
It took 4 days for
Tony
that to
Timpa
happen.
had the same thing. Nobody protested. I mean, there's
True.
more white people that have been killed and the cops weren't charged and nothing happened. My
Just
question
because
is,
we don't know about it. We have these things that are on video that people
no,
are like,
people
oh,
that look for it know about it. The problem is that you don't look for it.
I do look for it. I'm telling you, I'm giving you the examples. I gave you the example of Daniel Schaefer. I'm giving you other examples. If you wanna-
Everybody has the Daniel Schaefer example. I get it, but
Yes,
nobody
but
knows the
if
19
it's-
names of last year.
Great. Is there video of it? And that's the
Yes.
thing. If I see the videos, then yes.
Search Tony Timpa. Do you not know his name?
Who?
Tony Timpa.
Tony Timpa.
Tony Timpa. He was stood on by a cop and died the exact same way George Floyd
He was
did.
the one that meant, yes, the one that he was in the grass. It was at nighttime.
Yep.
I remember. I saw
Died
that
the
video.
exact same way. Yet I don't see a single Tony Timpa sign, and I don't see a single protest for Tony Timpa.
Fine. That made look.
So
I'll
how's
admit
the movement not
look,
racist?
I'm saying that they have, because first off, it's not racist. Don't get mad that certain people are using this to elevate. If they want to be white Americans that want to fight against this, then have them rise up and say it. But don't get mad at that. They're bringing up an injustice and someone's not fighting with the same passion that you are. If you have an issue with that, Mike, go out and start a protest for those people.
No, I don't think that's necessary. I don't have an issue.
Why are you upset?
My issue is that
that's like saying you're upset about the Me Too movement for bringing up sexism in regards to.
It's not. Don't straw man me. Don't straw man me.
But it is, because it's the same thing as I've dealt with sexism in regards to
you're saying the movement isn't racist and it's about police brutality, yet it's
you keep putting words in my mouth. I've told you that it's like there's multiple movements that are happening at the exact same time. If you want to say the Black
But
Lives
none
Matter,
of those movements are doing what I'm saying. They're all racist. All of them.
So the defund the police is racist.
Yes.
In which way?
What do you mean? The defund police movement is all about the George Floyd killing. And they're not.
No, it's not. They've been trying to do it. What it is they're
right. So at the defund police thing, do you see fighting for Justine Damon?
Justine Damon, there was accountability. The person was arrested. The cop was arrested. He was charged. What are you talking about?
We're in this. We're talking about the same city.
Do you know why people are protesting? Do you know why people protested about George Floyd?
No.
You don't know. That's the reason why. They protested because they saw an officer kill an unarmed person for 10 minutes and then was not arrested. All of these people that you see, they rise up to call out, why is this person not getting arrested?
No, that was why are they not arrested immediately?
Yes, because they don't think it. Same thing with Ahmaud Arbery.
Because you're too fucking dumb to understand the situation. You can't arrest a cop immediately.
It's not 4 days. What about Ahmaud Arbery, which was 3 months?
It's not a cop. It's a citizen.
He used to be a cop.
The police investigated it and they disagreed with you.
Again, let me tell you an example. We see that it takes 4 days to arrest a cop, but during these same protests, we're seeing individuals who are peacefully protesting who are getting arrested.
Because they're breaking the law.
What law? They're peacefully protesting. You're seeing videos.
Show me what case you're talking about. Don't just say people that pull up a case.
I can show you the CNN reporter who is literally just standing there and just getting arrested by cops. Like, why am I getting arrested? Why am I getting arrested? Arrest him on camera.
So was accountability faced?
No, none of these happens.
You don't know what happened to those officers?
Did anything happen to those officers?
Yeah, they were disciplined.
Disciplined.
That's not a fireable offense. You don't know what happened.
What I'm saying is this. There's 700 videos online of officers literally shooting into peaceful crowds of protesters.
Again, you are being super biased and very naive. You don't know what happened.
I'm looking at videos.
Peaceful protesters, again, you can go rob a bank with your friend. If your friend kills somebody and you were just sitting there being peaceful, it doesn't matter. You both buy the murder charge. If you're in an area that's illegal, that means you're breaking the law. And if it's a riot situation, of course, they're going to use rubber bullets. Hold on. Emmy, this is not happening. All right, man. That's what the community agreed to. I don't know why you don't get that.
No, but here's the thing is, but this is where we're going to have the disconnect.
If they violated policy, then argue that they need to be disciplined. If they didn't violate policy, then change the policy.
Well, again, the policy that I'm saying, first off, there's a main policy that I'm saying that if a cop is in fear, he could basically adjust.
That's not policy, that's the law.
That's law, exactly. And I have an issue.
Change the law. You're the people. Cops can't do it.
That's what we're, Mike. That's what we're fighting.
So
That's
why are
what
you
this whole
blaming the
thing is
cops
about.
then?
Why what?
Why are you blaming the cops for following the law when you're and defending people who aren't?
Because they use it to their advantage. When I'm seeing an officer who's punching someone in the back of the head, saying stop resisting, and saying I fear for my life, and they now have impunity to do whatever the fuck they want to
Yeah,
do.
what they did was a crime, though.
But it's not, because as long as they say that they're in fear, they have impunity to do whatever.
That's not true. That's not true. They don't have impunity. They have to
Really?
be judged. It has to be judged reasonable
Really?
in a court of law. But the
And that's if it
reasonableness
makes
is based
that's
upon
if
how
it-
you put your
that's
person in that
if-
shoes.
That's if it gets to the court of law. That's if it even gets if they even get indicted.
Right, but you
That's
do
even if it gets to
understand that it's
point.
illegal
You
to
can
abuse
indict
somebody,
Cam
right?
Sanders if you want to. It doesn't matter. If the fact that it goes to an indictment, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Because at this point, you're just like, you could, if you want to, you should just.
I understand. You want to punish individuals and not change actual policy.
I want to do both.
Then why do you have to bother punishing someone?
Punishing someone, because the issue is there has to be some type of accountability. The more and more that you're having it, that these situations.
Right. The 4 cops were immediately fired. How is that not some level of accountability progressing onto the situation?
Were they? Let me see if they were actually fired.
They were.
They were actually fired.
They were. You're not going to find anything I say to be incorrect, Emmy. This is what I do day in and day out. They were fired and then subsequently charged. Just because they didn't charge them fast enough is not a reason to claim racism or burn a city down.
I know it was like 4 charges. Were they fired or they?
They were fired, and there was no reason to fire 2 of them that I could see at all.
The 2 that the rookie cop that was basically, I guess, sitting on him.
The Asian cop and the one that and Shover, I can see firing them. The other 2, I can't even see it. I didn't even see them make eye contact with the guy. How would they know he was choking?
Well, he says.
Fuck what? Don't give me that.
No, I'm giving. First up, I'm.
I've been on the streets. People say anything.
No, listen. Listen to what I'm. He says that he told him to get off of his mouth. That's what he said. That's all I'm just saying. I'm not like, again, he fought back on something that I was actually.
But none of these people. I'm saying none of them. Don't worry about any of the words. Words don't mean anything.
Matter. Yes.
Right. So the 2 cops don't even turn and look at the guy.
Correct.
So why would you fire them? Anyone could have been in those shoes. Absolutely anyone. This movement's not about police reform, brother. It's not.
It is.
It's about power. It's about compliance. It's about bending the knee.
That's what I'm fighting about.
I know you are. I get that. But I'm not going to fucking bend the knee to these people. And I don't think the rest of this country is either.
Fine.
Then the situation is going to get worse. For the people that you're supposed to be fighting for. Right? You think Minnesota's going to be better after this? New York? Baltimore?
Because it hasn't been good. I'm sorry.
No, I asked if it would be better. You don't make it worse because it hasn't been good.
I don't think it has ever been good. So you're saying, is it going to get worse? It's like, look, at least people right now are paying attention. And I think right now it is actually getting somewhat better because these officers.
So more black people have died in these protests than have died that you have for the police department all fucking year. You killed more and destroyed more black lives in one night of protesting than anything the police did.
What do you mean anything that the police did?
But the police killed 9. There were 9 questionable black murders last year by police. 9.
Okay.
Of the whole year. More than 9 black people have been killed in the goddamn protesting. And 10 cops have been, was it 6 cops, 7 cops, something like that.
And how did those 9 individuals, how were they killed?
Oh, gunshot, most of them.
Yeah. By who?
Police.
Okay.
Right, but there's 9. The response is worse than the problem.
Yes, but it's highlighting the problem.
No, it's not. It's closing. I'm telling you, in your circles, it's highlighting it. But in the real world, why Trump will win in a landslide, why these cities will continue to collapse, is because the real world does not buy this argument because it's super weak.
Mm.
The
Again,
argument's weak. If your argument was to stop lead poisoning people, super important.
first off, I'm for that as well.
No, I'm talking about the movement. No one is pushing for that. No one. It would be vastly more important to lower lead levels than it would be to even worry about what the police do.
Well, look, we're even looking because again, I think lowering the lead levels is basically putting the crime on the individuals.
It's not. It's putting on the crime of the people that poisoned them.
Yes, and I'm against that. Trust me. In regards to even a side situation, in regards to Flint, is a huge thing. I'm totally against that.
Right, but I just explained to you, and you can do the research. It's the number one thing that's causing problems in the black community. Number one thing is lead poisoning. But yet no one's protesting. No one's saying, hey, we need to lower lead levels. They're going out to try and attain control and power and punish, seek vengeance.
I don't think it's seek vengeance. I think it's just having accountability of the law, that if an officer killed someone that was justified, then
that's vengeance. Locking the person up and putting them in a cage is the same vengeance exacted on Freddie Gray.
No, we just want them to have some accountability so they stop doing it.
The accountability can only be in preventing the recurrence.
The recurrence. That's fine.
No one's asking to prevent the recurrence. They're only asking, just like the regular criminal justice system, only to get vengeance and revenge.
It's not again. You should be glad. If we wanted revenge, it would be much worse. Trust me. It would be much worse if we wanted revenge.
I don't know what that means, but okay.
It is. If we wanted revenge, it would be a lot worse.
Your idea of revenge is accountability.
How's that revenge? That's
because you're saying your idea of accountability is nothing but vengeance. Put the person in a prison cell, seek accountability.
I said before in this conversation, I said equal protections of the law. Either that the police have the same accountability.
The police are not equal citizens.
Well, that's the issue.
No, sworn members are lower than regular citizens. Police and the military do not have full rights.
But again, you're doing a job where if you saw me put my knee in someone's neck,
it's not equal. There's a huge difference.
It isn't equal. And I'm telling you.
No, listen, philosophically, it can never be equal. The one person is an employee and the other person is an individual agent.
Correct.
And the person is putting the neck on the knee because you asked them indirectly.
I did not ask them.
You did. You sat on your ass your whole life.
How?
This is not you, generally. And waited till something bad happened, then complained. But the truth...
No, people have been trying to fight back the entire time, but their voices are completely silenced. They're doing... Colin Kaepernick was kneeling. The NBA players...
You think Colin Kaepernick has some value in this situation?
Well, all I'm saying is this. Listen, let me finish. What I'm saying is Colin Kaepernick is kneeling. The NBA players were literally wearing shirts saying, I can't breathe, trying to put attention to that. And people are just
trying to put attention to what?
Again, police brutality.
And now what are you going to do about it?
That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make people just see it to begin with.
Everyone sees it.
No, they don't.
No one doesn't think what happened to George Floyd was wrong.
That's the issue. That's fine. No one does. But again, here's the thing. George Floyd, it started off that way. And then Candace Owens had a video saying basically he was not your perfect martyr. And I was like, no one was trying to make him a martyr.
I get that. So who cares?
Yeah, but
again, the person is no one disagrees that his murder was wrong. No one. I've never seen any kind of concerted movement towards that. The argument has been one that it's wrong. I asked you again, chaos or community, why do you keep choosing chaos? Why does the movement keep choosing chaos?
First off, this country was built on chaos. What are you talking about?
I don't care. It's not getting anywhere. My question is...
It is because that's how it's happened. The Civil War was chaos. We're overseas with wars in chaos.
The Civil War was chaos?
There was. That's violent. That was through chaos.
That doesn't mean chaos. It doesn't mean it's uncoordinated.
But it's not. But it was chaos. It was chaos. What are you talking about?
No, I'm asking why the movement doesn't choose community, i.e., we are all talking about police brutality and we need to find solutions. So what's the solution? Give me one solution that the movement is fighting for.
Maybe you're...
What's the solution that the community is fighting for?
That they're fighting for?
Mm-hmm.
Again, in regards to a fact that there's equal accountability.
There is.
Again, no, it's not, because we see it.
How not?
Listen, we're seeing an issue where officers are shooting someone in the back, and then they're just like, "Well, I feared for my life." If I had another situation where I just shot someone because I feared for my life, I would be arrested immediately. I would.
Not true.
That would, come on, you know that. If I just said I was scared and I shot him in the back.
That's not necessarily true. If someone came in that door right now to your right and you turned and shot them, you would be arrested. What the fuck are you talking about?
If they, first off, but that's someone's breaking into my house.
Right. The police, their job from the community is the house. They're doing what the community asked them to.
They do to protect the community. Correct. And
no, they follow the policies and the laws that the community has created. And when they don't, they are punished.
They're not
at
punished.
A rate. Police are arrested and convicted of crimes at a higher rate than the general population.
What about police misconduct in regards that literally like 99% of them are still open for investigation?
It's probably because it's a bullshit case.
Yeah, well, how do you know? It's open. It's just open.
Because this is how the things work. Do you want to know what it's like to be a cop and how these things happen? I can tell you. You literally don't know fucking anything, Emmy. Nothing at all.
I understand. Look,
you don't know anything about the internal complaint process. You don't know anything about who calls the police in these complaints. I do.
I've tried in certain situations.
No, I know, but you can't unless you're in there. I get it. But most of these calls are not, most complaints of use of force against police officers are absolute nonsense where the people don't even comply with the internal affairs investigation.
Do you know why?
I don't fucking know. Neither do you.
Yes, I do. Because there's videos, and especially me personally, when I tried to do it, they're just like, well, what are you doing wrong? Can we have your information? Can we do this? There's almost like this aggressive tactic in regards to just trying to report it. Like, yo, what is this dude trying to fucking do to me?
Yo, are you that soft?
I know.
You keep telling me how words are like detrimental to your life. That's not making any sense.
Officer basically saying, what were you doing wrong? Basically trying to charge me. It's the same reason why you say.
He wasn't basically trying to charge you. Trying to conduct an investigation. You don't like the way he said a word.
Never talk to cops. Do you also say never talk to cops?
Of course.
Why?
Because you're an idiot if you do.
Why?
The cop's job is to put you in a prison cell.
Exactly. So when I'm talking to an officer
but the community asked him to do that.
When I'm talking about police, when I'm trying to do
your neighbors asked him to do that.
When who?
You and your neighbors asked the cop to do that.
To do what?
To stop you.
To stop me.
Yeah.
Okay. Who says I'm okay with that?
You don't have to be, but you're blaming the police for what your neighbor employed the police officer to do.
I'm having an issue with multiple facets. I don't know why you keep only going towards policing.
Right, because that's all I know. I don't care about the other things. I'm not getting involved in the other things. I'm talking to you about police brutality and what complaints are and how these things are. And I think you're kind of locked into your narrative.
No, because your excuses at the end of the day is, hey, your society asked for this. No,
yeah. You're asking me why things with policing are different. They're different because they're not acting on their own volition. They're acting with what you trained them to do, what their policy is to do. And when they break that, they do get punished. And then you have a case. But in this case where they follow exactly what you and your neighbors asked them to do, you need to look in the mirror before you look at the cop.
What, in the mirror in regards to
for what you're asking them to do?
In regards to self or who? Or my neighbor? Because my mirror is completely different than the rest of my community's mirror.
Sure, all of you do. All of you do. It's your community. If you can't find that mutual thread, then you're not going to get anywhere.
It's a community that I choose to live in. It's a community that I am also possibly the minority that my voice is that I'm trying to raise.
Why are you a minority? In what?
mean?
What were you a minority in?
In regards
your neighborhood?
In my community.
Yeah.
And I'm not even saying based on skin color. I'm doing it based on ideology.
Sure.
So if you're saying that the cops are trying to protect ourselves from, let's just say, Beverly Hills, or in my community where it's mainly a conservative, where I grew up, a conservative, ideological background, yes, they're protecting them from people who would be on the other outside, which would be me, which I believe that.
No, not if you're a member of their community. Why would they be treating you as an outsider?
Of who?
You just said that you'd be an outsider. Why?
Yes, just because I live in there does not make me part of their community. I lived in a community that was literally 97% white.
Well, if you're separating yourself from the community that you live in just
I'm
because
not separating it. It's just what it is when the community is separating themselves from me. I choose to live in the community.
I have no idea
They
what that
choose to
means. How is the
separate.
community separating themselves from you?
So when you're saying that the police officers are supposed to protect the 97% of the demands of the community.
No, I didn't say
and
that. I didn't say 97%. I said they
I'm not
follow the
saying-
policy
I'm
and laws
talking
you
about my
created.
community. I'm saying where I grew up. I'm saying where I grew up,
Uh-huh.
where it was 97% white. So they're speaking to the 97% conservative ideology.
So
That's-
all white, so white people are all conservative?
I'm not saying that. I'm
That's
saying
what you
in my
just said.
community-
I'm just trying to follow the
I'm
line.
saying, no, I'm saying in regards to my community that I grew up. I'm
Okay.
just saying the majority that I grew up in a more conservative
Okay.
environment
Okay.
in Arvada. If we
Okay.
want to talk about Los Angeles, that's more liberal. That's different. I'm not
Okay.
talking about Los Angeles.
Okay.
I'm talking about the community that I lived in when I grew
get
up
it.
in Arvada.
I get it.
Yeah.
What's the tie-in?
So when you are saying that I'm going to protect the majority of the voice in this community,
They don't say
means
that.
the other.
They don't say
Huh?
that. They don't say
But
the
again,
majority.
that's what it is. You're saying the people that are. You're saying the people that are that the officers are speaking for, correct?
No, the policy that's written, their employees.
Okay.
So
I understand.
the policy does not. We live in a constitutional republic. The policy cannot violate the protection of minorities.
It's not. Of course, you have to look at equal protections of the law. Correct.
Mhm.
Yes, but again, we have.
They didn't. Those 97% white people didn't do anything
that
illegal to
constitution-
you.
and that constitution has always been there. You could say, you could have equal protections of the law and still violate individuals because yes, you have the backing.
But it's
of, like,
illegal.
Yeah, we're stopping everybody.
But it's illegal.
Because they realized
What
why
do you
was
want
it-
more than it being illegal?
Yes, but why was it illegal?
Discrimination?
Discrimination was one.
Discrimination is illegal. I don't know what you mean.
Yes, but I'm saying discrimination is a huge thing. Yes, discrimination is, but they're also stopping people against.
No, in your community, those 97% people, I don't understand why you're disconnected from that. I don't understand why it's not your community.
No, what I'm saying is ideological. Look, if I lived in the 97%,
Right, so the problem isn't to blame the police officer who is an employee. You must talk to your neighbors. Otherwise, like I said at the very beginning, you're asking and making the claim to be a benevolent dictator.
I'm asking for.
Because if you change the police department against the will of 97% of the people, you're a fucking tyrant.
I'm not trying to do that. I'm actually trying.
Then you need to convince your neighbors. Do you see how easy this is?
No, first off, what do you think these protests are? They are trying to convince the people who are on the outside that
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're trying to get. They're trying to get social media clicks, and they're trying to feel cool. They're not sitting at home, and they're not. Dude, no one on the Emmy.
Point out towards police brutality.
Emmy, come on.
There is. Yes, there's certain people that are. But there's
You're
people
telling me that black protesters or Black Lives Matter protesters, because they're mostly white, that they're going and having.
Yes.
Your claim is that they're going and having honest, productive conversations with the right. With people
trying.
You think they're trying?
First off, people are trying to have honest conversations with the right. Everyone is
what? My
My
entire experience is the exact opposite of that. I can have a conversation about why Black Lives Matter to conservatives, and they listen. If you try to have a conversation against the left about anything, all they do is start lying.
Oh, stop. It's not. It's the exact same thing. The right does the exact same thing.
I didn't say the right. I said the regular people. I'm not talking about politicians. I'm talking about people.
We're talking about people. We're talking about people. If you don't like, they have the exact same thing. The right says, if you don't like it, then leave our country. It's the same thing. You're unpatriotic. They have the exact same thing for stuff that they
I don't understand that. If you don't like our country, leave.
Yes, but that's the thing.
What is wrong with that?
You're saying if you don't have conversation, if you bring up something and saying, I don't like this part of society, I'm trying to fix it. Well, if you don't like it, leave. You're unpatriotic. All these different things. They have the same thing as the left. If there's certain things that they don't agree with, they have their buzzwords to stop conversation.
I've never heard it ever take place. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Both sides happen.
Right now, I have. Look, 4 years ago, I believe you. Right now, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Colin Kaepernick kneeling. If you don't like it, putting it towards a